There may be some spoilers in this. There may be some spoilers in this. If you haven't seen the season yet, don't keep watching this. Go watch it, then come back. Then you can comment. Hey, what's up? Hello, fam. Welcome. Carrington here. I recently watched The Umbrella Academy Season 3 a couple days ago. I actually did not start watching this show until about 2 weeks ago. I watched season 1 and 2 pretty quickly. I was very much excited and ready to watch this season. Overall, I have to say, I thought it was a good season. I do think that the story just keeps getting better and better. I am hoping that we hear about season 4 being renewed quite soon because I'm very curious to see where they take this show going forward. First things first, I really did like how they brought in the Sparrows versus the Umbrella Academy. Watching each episode, I love to see how they do the intro and show the Sparrow versus the umbrella symbols in each time that they show the title of the show. I think that's really cool to look out for. I really enjoyed how Ben came back into the series because, you know, as we saw in season 2, he was a ghost and he then moved on to what we assume is heaven. The Umbrella Academy came into this kind of alternate universe, this different timeline, because they messed up things since they went back in time to then come back to 2019. Things got messed up. If you know, you saw with Harlan how that happened. I do like how Ben was brought into this season. He played a totally different version of the Ben that the Umbrella Academy knew. Ben is now a part of the Sparrows. And I think it was cool to see him in a different role. You know, he wasn't this deceased, nice ghost of a brother that was helping out his family or sticking around his family. He was a totally different version than what they knew and grew up with because as the timeline worked, Sir Reginald never adopted the Umbrella Academy and he adopted the Sparrows. We're introduced to a lot of new characters with a lot of different powers. I think it was interesting to see some of the powers that these other individuals in the Sparrow Academy had, but I still love my Umbrella Academy nonetheless. I really did like Ben, but I still had some questions at the end, like what was the Jennifer incident? I really thought that we were gonna dive into Ben's death in this season, and that still was not covered. It was something that was hinted at, but we still did not get answers. So I'm really hoping that in season 4, we'll finally learn more about Ben's original death with the Umbrella Academy and exactly what happened and more of his background. If you watch the post credits at the end of the season, you will see, we're not sure if it's the original Ben who in this timeline might have never been killed off. He's sitting on a train reading a book, and if you scan the QR code that's in there, it takes you to Pogo's tattoo shop. Doesn't give us any information. I was hoping that QR code would actually tell us something. It didn't. But anyways, we see what we believe is the original Ben sitting on a train. He looks like he is very much alive in this timeline, that this universe that has been reset. Allison was very surprising. The actress who plays her did an amazing job. She did a fantastic job. I did not expect her character to take the turn that she did, but after losing Ray and Claire, I can understand it. She feels like she has nothing else to live for. Her child does not exist. Her husband died 10 years before the year that they're now back in. And I did not expect her to just become this person that she became in this season. But again, I can understand it. I'm not gonna lie though, she would get on my nerves and I did not agree with a lot of the things that she did. Like, did you have to kill Harlan? The man already lost his powers. Was that necessary? No. Luther is funny, but I don't know why he has to be so dumb. I do like that he finally gets a love interest, somebody who loves him, and he finally moves on, because while we are first introduced to the theory of him and Allison being whatever they were, it is kind of weird if you think about it. We don't want to put into people's heads that this is okay, that it's should be normalized, that your adopted brother that you grew up with, you have a romantic connection with. It is kind of weird. So I think it does make sense that they moved away from that storyline, especially considering Allison moved on last season. She did marry and fall in love with Ray. I think it's nice to see that Luther got his own love interest, Sloane, even though there's not much substance to them, but happy to see it. 5, one of my favorite characters as always. I think it's so cool just to see how he's grown and just the things that he does as a character. I think he's a great actor. Now that he is in a world where he no longer has his powers and there is no end of the world coming, it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates life. It's going to be interesting to see how they all navigate life. I love Klaus. I think he's so funny. I think his character is so entertaining. Sometimes the whole like drug addict thing was a bit much for me in season 1, but I think he really has grown. We clearly see he has daddy issues though, but I think finally seeing him hone in on his skills and learn more about his powers was great for this season. I think that was definitely necessary because I do love Klaus. I think he does offer a lot to the Umbrella Academy, even though his siblings always think he's just talking crazy. Diego and Lila, I thought their storyline was cute. It was an interesting storyline, I guess, but I do like that they found their way back to one another. I think Diego is interesting. He can be funny and he can be sweet, but as far as his superpowers, they're not powers I would care for, to be quite honest, but I'm happy that him and Lila came back. I think Lila is really headstrong. I think she's a great addition to the team. And then of course, number 7, Viktor, who was once Vanya, but now has been introduced as Viktor. I do like what they did with that character. I think that was very fair to Elliot Page. I like how they incorporated that into the show because I was definitely wondering if that was going to be incorporated into the show, how that was going to be addressed. I like how when Viktor announces to his siblings that this is who I am, this is me, this is what I'd like to be called, all the siblings were very accepting and didn't really make a big deal out of it. They were like, hey, we love you and we hear ya. Overall, the acting was great, but I do feel like some parts of the story overall were slow. A lot of these episodes were close to a full 60 minutes almost, and some parts were slow. I feel like some episodes could have combined this. I feel like they could have chopped some parts a bit more. But once we got towards that ending, that last episode, it left me on the edge of my seat. I was literally like, what is happening? When is season 4 coming out? I'm ready, okay? So there's been no news yet of when season 4 is going to be renewed or filmed or released or any of that. So I'm hoping that they get the renewal soon so that we can find out exactly what is going to happen from here, because now they are in a world where they no longer have their powers. We see that Allison gets back to Claire and somehow Ray is back in the picture. It looks like Patrick is no longer a thing. I don't know how that works out. I'm curious to know how that happened. Maybe that was part of the deal that she made with Sir Reginald. But I'm very curious to see how the Umbrella Academy is going to navigate. Luther has to find Sloane because she didn't come back in this world. So does she even exist? Does the Sparrow Academy exist besides Ben? Because Sparrow's Ben came back and we don't even know what's up with that. But I'm very excited and looking forward to the next season. Overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10. I did enjoy it. I think season 2 though was probably my favorite season. I think that was probably the best season. But overall, I give season 3 an 8 out of 10. I'm looking forward to the next season. Let me know what you guys think about this season in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video. Oh, and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you liked this and join the fam.